Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my Fear the Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 12 review, and this episode is called Brother's Keeper. And this episode came out on September 24th, 2017, and I'm just going to get right into it. So the episode starts off showing Troy after he's left Broke Jaw Ranch, and I like this scene a lot because you could kind of see that Troy was starting to lose it. He kills a snake. He goes to where you know, um, the guy was scalped and the crow was eating him, and he's pretty much starting to lose his mind, and he takes a pistol and shoots it up in the air. That's going to attract the affected, and obviously this kind of leads into something more a little bit later on, and then it cuts to the present, and the episode itself starts off when the infected end up eating one of the cows, and Nick reveals to one of the people that works in the militia that um, the cows are attracting the infected because of the smell and stuff like that. So they have to kill all the cattle. And Jake's kind of upset to see what the ranch has turned into because it's not the community that he knew when he was growing up. And he says that it's starting to fall apart. He doesn't feel like much of a community. It just kind of feels like we're surviving. And Alicia tries to talk him back, saying that that's exactly what we're doing. We're just surviving. And Jake wants to go somewhere else. He wants to leave town. He knows another place. But Alicia tries to convince him to stay, that this is their community, and you're not going to you're not going to destroy everything that your dad ruined. And I like this scene a lot. Then Nick and Alicia are talking the next night, and we see that Alicia starts to smoke cigarettes. And I kind of like in the zombie apocalyptic type of world where the people you wouldn't expect to smoke cigarettes who have their lives together end up kind of breaking and doing it because they probably feel like they're already kind of living pretty much in the dead anyways, within the dead, and they feel like nothing can hurt them. And Nick and Alicia have a talk. Nick feels haunted about what happened to Troy, and Alicia tries to tell him that he doesn't owe Troy everything after all the heinous things that Troy has done throughout this series. She doesn't say throughout the series, obviously, but throughout, the series though, pretty much. And Nick says the reason that he ended up killing Troy's father is because he did it for his mother. He didn't want his mom to have to do it their mother anyways, because it would have broken her, and he felt like he was the one that had to do it. Then later on in the night, Nick wakes up after having a nightmare, and Troy sneaks back into the community. Now, at first, when I saw this, I thought that Nick was like hallucinating and having some sort of nightmare, but this was actually legitimate, and Troy, you could see, just has completely lost his mind. He's in a complete funk, but he comes over to warn Nick about the impending doom coming to Brokejaw Ranch, and Troy locks the door on him and says that the ranch has to flee, and then it cuts to a scene with Jake and Alicia. Actually, I forgot to mention too, one of the lieutenants and Ophelia have a talk too, where they question what happens if Walker and Madison don't come back from getting water. Who's going to lead the group? And they throw out a ton of different suggestions. And then and I like that scene. But then but then Jake and Alicia have a fight because Jake wonders why Alicia really wanted to be with him. If did she just introduce him to commute in the community? Why are you trying to keep this community together? What's the reason? There's no purpose. And this ends up offending Alicia. But then before she can really answer, Nick shows up and reveals that Troy was there and says that there's some sort of doom coming to the community. So Jake and Nick go after Troy, and Alicia said that she's doing all of this for Jake. And this is the last that Alicia speaks to Jake, and I'll get into why later on. And Jake kind of wants Alicia to kind of keep it a secret from um, the ranch community. Um, but she ends up telling Ophelia about it because they don't want to know that, Troy snuck in. So Ophelia kind of doesn't really want to keep it a secret, so this ends up tying in. And Nick and Jake end up finding Troy, and pretty much Jake says that he tells a story about how he saw a rabbit that was mangled by coyotes. He ended up having to put it down so he wouldn't have to suffer anymore. And this is symbolic because he's telling the story because he's saying that he may have to do the same thing to Troy. So what ends up happening is they find Troy and he's got a shotgun. No, not a shotgun, a rocket launcher, and he's shooting it up in the air. And we find out that he's been luring infected, and a herd of them's gonna go right to the ranch and destroy the ranch. And Jake and Troy get upset about this, and you can see that Troy is just starting to lose it. He's gonna kill Troy because he just thinks that he's lost his mind. When Nick tries to talk him down, he's unable to. But then Troy reveals to Jake that it was actually Nick that killed their father, and that Alicia knew it all along and never told her. And this just really breaks Troy. So Troy offers for them to go out together, but Troy tries to say that he's going to take this trip on his own, and he goes to shoot Troy. And Nick had been pleading with Troy not to kill. No, sorry, had been pleaded with Jake not to kill Troy because it's just going to break him. And before he kills him, Nick hits him off the head with a rocket launcher, and Troy falls down the valley or whatever, or mountains, whatever, and the infected attack Troy. He ends up getting bitten, and Nick asks Troy how long it takes for the infection to spread, because what they're going to do is they're going to cut off Troy's arm, which is the first time that the Fear the Walking Dead's done this, so it kind of shows that they're starting to think. But they don't cut off his arm in time because Troy hesitates. So what ends up happening is, well, then Alicia reveals to everybody that the herd is coming, so everybody gets weapons, and it took a lot of. Hold on, I gotta charge my computer. I thought I could get through this video without charging it. I'm just not gonna edit this because I don't see the point. All right. I lost my train of thought. So they all get weapons, and the infected comes over to the ranch, and they use the RVs to block it, so that way they can't exactly come all attack him at once. But it doesn't work. They end up all ended up tipping over, and everybody does the best they can to fight off the herd, but there's just too much. One of the people from the militia gets tackled by the infected, so Alicia puts him down so that way he won't have to feel the pain and turn. And then everybody makes their way into the pantry, and we're kind of left wondering what's going to happen next with that. So I like this scene a lot. And then the episode itself ends with Nick and Troy watching from the ranch, and Nick's trying to figure out a way to stop this. And Troy reveals that he did this for Jake to kind of rebuild the community. And Nick has forces Troy to watch and says, "Is that what you did for the community? Because all you did was put it into ruins." And then Jake ends up dying, and he ends up turning into the infected. I think he died because of the amputation, because of the blood loss. So Troy puts him down, and that was pretty much the end of the episode. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, that was pretty much the end of the episode. He said, they wanted to regain their legacy. And that was pretty much the end of the episode. I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was fantastic. I really liked the way Troy was acting, the way they killed off Jake, and I liked, that the town were going through this big crisis and stuff, and I just thought this episode was fantastic. I thought it had some great character development. So if I had to rate this episode, I'll give it an A. Just a solid A. It's fantastic, though. I would definitely recommend it. Probably, I don't know if it's the best episode in this season, or even of the series, but it's definitely one of the best episodes I've seen in this series. So that's what I thought. Other than that, everybody gave it pretty favorable reviews. On Rotten Tomatoes, it did 100% it got 100% approval rating, and it showed an average score of 8.00 out of 10 based on 5 reviews, and it got a 4 out of 5 from David E. Zampanda of Den of Creek, and on IMDb, people gave it a 7.7 out of 10, and a lot of people gave it 10s. So people kind of thought this was a mixed bag episode. It got 10s and a couple of 5s. So, but I still thought that this episode was fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and Fear the Walking Dead's just been an awesome season, and I can't wait to see. Because now I'm on the last 4 episodes, and I can't wait to see what happens with that. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content and click on the bell. So that way every time I upload a video, you guys will get the notifications for it. Make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM Brothers YouTube channel. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.